Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually packing my hospital bag as a second time mom. It is significantly more sparse than it was with Charlie. So I'm excited to kind of talk through everything that I'm packing, why I've decided or not decided to pack something. And yeah, hopefully if you are packing your hospital bag soon, then this video will help you out a little bit from a second time mom. I will say I'm about 31 and a half weeks as I'm filming this, so it is a little bit early to be packing my hospital bag. I would say I recommend having it done by 36 weeks. That's kind of a common amount of time before you might go into labor, and you would actually, be admitted into the hospital most likely if you were in labor at that time. So I think around 36 weeks is probably ideal to have your hospital bag packed. I just like to be prepared, so I am doing it a little bit early. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. First off, let's talk about the bag itself. You could use any sort of duffel bag or rolly bag that you already have. I remember people telling me with my first to use a rolly bag because my husband's gonna be carrying everything. In the end, we ended up just doing 2 trips regardless because there was just too much stuff anyway. So he did a trip of, bringing stuff up to the room after we were checked in, and vice versa when we were getting checked out. He took a load of stuff down, moved the car to the entrance, and then came up and grabbed me with the baby. So I say use whatever type of bag you want. I got this super cute bag from Amazon. This is the one I used for my first delivery. I like that it has a bunch of different compartments. Like there's a compartment on the bottom for your shoes and different things. So I actually really liked this bag. I will link it down in the description box with everything else that I'm going to be talking about here. But yeah, use whatever bag you want. So first off, let's talk about for baby, because I definitely overpacked for baby last time. I'm not packing anything like health-wise. So the hospital is going to provide diapers, wipes, swaddles. They're going to provide like bulb suction devices, burp cloths. Like they provide a lot of stuff. So I am only bringing for baby a couple of outfits, mostly because I'm just indecisive. I think this is going to be his like announcement outfit with a cutie little beanie. I have one other pair of pajamas for going home. Like he'll potentially just wear one of these going home. The entire time that I was in the hospital with my firstborn, she literally was just in a diaper in the hospital swaddle the entire time. The reason for that is because they're constantly like unswaddling them, doing different tests to make sure everything's okay with the baby. So there's really no point in putting them in like a onesie or pajamas or anything when you're in the hospital. So these are really for like either your announcement photos or going home outfit. And then I just packed an extra going home outfit in case I liked this one better. Look at these pants, they're so tiny. The only other things I have a little announcement plaque, and then I also have a blanket. And the blanket is mostly for my announcement photo because they kind of have ugly sheets on the bassinet. So I'm gonna probably like cover the bassinet sheet with the blanket, put them in the cute onesie so I can get a cute picture. That's what I did with my first. It turned out well, so I'm probably gonna do that again. And then also if you wanna like drape a blanket over them when you're driving home or something. So it's nice to just have like one lightweight blanket in my opinion, especially if you care about the aesthetics of it all. But that's literally everything I'm bringing for the baby, nothing else. Moving on to for mom. So I plan to labor at home as long as possible. I am considering doing a natural birth. We'll see how that goes. I've been working on all of the techniques, and if I can do it, then great. Because of that, I'm trying to labor at home as long as possible and kind of go into the hospital at the last minute. So as far as actually delivering the baby, I plan to just wear the hospital gown. That doesn't really bother me. And then what I'm gonna wear to the hospital will just be whatever I'm wearing in that moment. So I don't really need a specific outfit for me for that. So pretty much everything else, or everything that I'm packing, is for kind of like that postpartum. I will say, again, since I'm trying to go natural without interventions, I am bringing a speaker. Also, I asked for headphones for Christmas, so if my husband buys me over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones, I will probably also be bringing those because I really want to be able to like zone out into the music and like the meditations that I have planned. But I also have a speaker in case he did not give me headphones for Christmas. And then I'm also planning on like filming and stuff, so I highly recommend like extra long chargers, like super long chargers. If you can get like a 15-foot or 20-foot charger. I remember I had to put my phone like really far away because I needed it by an outlet. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want whatever electronics you have, make sure you have extra long chargers for those, not just like the standard iPhone charger. You want like a solid like 10 or 15-foot charger for your phone. So beyond that, as far as like my labor, I'm not about to diffuse scents. I just don't really, that's not really my vibe. I plan on using majority of like things that the hospital has, like the peanut ball, and my doula is going to be bringing me a labor comb, so I don't need to worry about that. And that's pretty much it for labor. As far as postpartum, I have a couple different postpartum like outfits or pajamas. So this is like a little nightgown dress, and this part is supposed to just kind of, you know, pop out so that you can feed. And then it also came with a matching robe, which is nice, so you can kind of cover up more if you want. So I like that option, so I have that. And then I did pack a second pair of pajamas. Last time I was in the hospital for a couple of days postpartum, so ideally, you know, you'd only be in the hospital like 24 or 48 hours, but just in case you're in there longer, you know, it's nice to have a second option for pajamas. Again, open front is key because you're probably going to be breastfeeding. So this one has buttons, and I wore this a ton postpartum last time. And then you're gonna want a going home outfit. Obviously, that is just going to depend on what time of year. I just have this like cozy little 2-piece set. I will link a couple that I like in the description box. As far as underwear and like postpartum care, your hospital is going to provide a ton of stuff for you, so you really don't need that much. I just wore like the super thin underwear that the hospital gave me. That was basically a diaper. I wore that, and then I would wear like a nursing bra. So I do have a nursing bra. I mean, you can bring like your Freedom Mom postpartum kit, but I literally didn't even open that. I only ever used postpartum the entire time the upside down Perry bottle, and the hospital also will give you a Perry bottle. So again, like all of that stuff is kind of unnecessary to bring in my opinion, so I'm not going to bring it this time. But yeah, my plan will be to just wear like a nursing bra, and then if for some reason I'm not bleeding that much and I don't need to be wearing the full-on hospital provided diapers, I do have one pair of just kind of like basic cotton underwear. Again, I will most likely not touch those because typically you bleed a good amount. I bled a good amount last time, and I was in like the hospital sized diapers for a solid like week basically, so I'm not really planning on wearing those, but just in case I'm not bleeding that much, I have that option. A couple pairs of socks, one that's like normal socks and one that's like extra comfy cozy, and then I have a couple of pairs of shoes. So I'm going to be bringing my slides. This could either be worn like in the shower or whatever if you just want to slide them on. And then I also have slippers, and of course, depending on like where you live, time of year, that's also going to vary because, you know, where I live, it's very dry. I can get away with going home in slides. I don't have to worry about wearing like snow boots or something. I say that now, watch it happen to snow on the day that I go home. A few other things. So a bag of snacks. This is mostly for postpartum, like late night munchies, you get hungry and the you know, cafe is not open or whatever, and you don't want like vending machine stuff. So I have a few different snacks that I like in here. I also have like a hydration thing, so that's also great for postpartum. And I do remember when I was in labor, because I was in labor for so long, that I wanted something besides water, and the only other thing they had was like spray or apple juice, and neither of those sounded that good to me, like because it's just pure sugar and I wanted like actual electrolytes. So I am bringing that this time. I might even also go to the store and grab some like Gatorades or something. And on that topic, I thought I had one, but I don't, so I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy this. Is a mini bottle of champagne. My hospital gave us like a little congratulations gift bag after delivering, and in it was Martinelli's, and I remember like seeing the top of Martinelli's and I was like, yes, I freaking earned this bottle of champagne, this mini bottle that's like 1 glass or 2 glasses. And I was so excited that I could have a glass of champagne finally. And then I pulled it out and it was Martinelli's apple cider. And I was very disappointed. So I was like, you know what, next time I'm gonna just pack my own little mini bottle of champagne. So I'm gonna go pick that up from the grocery store. That's just personal preference, a little celebratory thing, and you know, you freaking did that, so you've earned it. And then I also am gonna pack some of my own toiletries. So just like shampoo, conditioner. I have actually nipple cream, nipple balm in here. If you can see that, I'm not sure. But yeah, just some different toiletries that I personally like. Deodorant, lotion, etc. And then the final thing is that I have a little list that I'm just going to set on top of the bag that literally says like grab on the way out the door. So on this list I have like a big blanket for my husband, because last time they gave him these little tiny like throw blankets and he's too tall for those and he was not warm. So big blanket for him, a little throw blanket for me just to be extra cozy. Pillows, I did not really like the hospital pillows. I am gonna bring my boppy this time. I was told not to bring my boppy for my first delivery and I ended up like constantly like propping pillows around, and I was just like, I just wish I had my boppy. So I'm gonna bring that this time, and then just a few last minute toiletries that I don't obviously want to pack like 2 months in advance, which are like my toothbrush and toothpaste, face wash, makeup wipes, and my makeup. I don't know if I'm actually gonna use makeup or not, but in case I want to feel put together and pretty, or we take pictures or something, I might want makeup, so I am gonna bring that. As far as my husband's items, that's gonna be on him to pack. He can pack his own bag, but it's just gonna be things like mostly like comfy things, comfy clothes, making sure he has an open front shirt, like something with either buttons or a zipper, so that he can also do skin to skin, especially in case of an emergency C-section. You know, slides, slippers, socks, underwear, kind of the basic stuff, his toiletries, and then again like a pillow and blanket. So that should pretty much cover it for all of us. But that is everything that we are packing in our hospital bag. So it is significantly lighter than last time. And if you have any questions or want to clarify if you should pack something, please do let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to answer it as a second-time mom. Last time I even brought like one of those little like stroller mini fans, and it ended up dying during the pushing phase, and I basically ended up not using it, and it just kind of was like, well, that was pointless, so I'm not even gonna bring it this time. And again, I didn't have a charger for that was at least like long enough to reach an outlet, so it goes back to the extra long charger thing. But anyways, hope you guys found this video helpful, useful. Again, if you have any questions about labor delivery, what to pack, etc., please let me know down in the comments. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.